Hello and thanks for joining us on the news at 10 on NTA News 24. We are reaching you live from Abuja. I am Stella Inameti. The headlines. Nigeria seek for investment to unlock potential in agricultural value chain.
It is about the resilience of our farmers, the ingenuity of our processors and entrepreneurs.
Payment of ransom to kidnappers is counterproductive to national security advisor. Inspector General of Police assures people of Plateau State of concrete security measures in tackling Boko's crisis. Nigeria strengthened diplomatic ties with Democratic Republic of Sao Tome and Principe to promote unified African stance on global stage.
Sao Tome happened to be the country where the sugar slave economy was perfected. It was tweaked there before it was applied to Brazil, before it was applied to Caribbean island nations.
Thanks again for joining us. Now, details of the news. The Vice President, Kashim Shettima, says the federal government remains committed to attracting investment to unlock the full potential of the agricultural value chain to ensure food security, create jobs and secure a brighter future for generations yet unborn. The Vice President stated this during the groundbreaking ceremony of a multi-billion naira agro-processing industrial hub in Kaduna. Mohammed Umar Ajingi reports.
Dressed in a colorful traditional Kanuri attire, the Vice President arrived in Kaduna with a host of opportunities for the people of the state. He is here to perform the groundbreaking ceremony of an agro-processing industry, a project expected to generate jobs for the youth of Kaduna State.
They will create opportunities for our young people, empowering them with skills and knowledge to engage in meaningful work and contribute actively to the economy. The youth of Nigeria must not be spectators in the economy. They must be stakeholders, builders and shapers of their own futures. This SAPZ has been classified as one of the priority projects by His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu GCFR. This isn't just about bricks and mortar. It is about people. It is about the resilience of our farmers, the ingenuity of our processors and entrepreneurs, and the commitment of our government and development partners to build a future that works for everyone. What we are breaking today is not just ground. It is the foundation for a new agro-industrial processing ecosystem that will serve generations to come.
Our industries are thriving, and our state is leading Nigeria's agricultural transformation. Together, let's use this moment and turn Kaduna State into a model for agribusinesses driving economic growth.
The multi-billion-dollar investment is supported by the African Development Bank.
It's expected that $1 billion of investment will be mobilized in these zones and create thousands of jobs. The success of the special agro-industrial processing zones across Nigeria will require 5 critical enablers. First, there is need for continued strong political will and commitment at the highest levels. I have no doubt that that is the case because President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has designated this as a presidential initiative.
The SAPZ program is not merely an agricultural initiative, it is a catalyst for economic growth and import substitution. As we invest in agro-processing development, we are investing in the future of our communities.
The agro-industrial processing hub is expected to host processing plants for grains, fruits, vegetables and livestock products. In Kaduna, I am Muhammad Umar Ajingi, NTA News.
In the meantime, Vice President Kashim Shettima has inaugurated the board of the Nigerian Independent System Operator as part of government's effort to restructure and strengthen Nigeria's electricity sector in line with the Electricity Act 2023. State House correspondent Abdulrahman Jibrila reports that the board is tasked with overseeing the operational and market independence of the system, aimed at managing critical aspects of Nigeria's electricity supply chain that includes grid stability, system operations, power dispatch, and market coordination.
Administrative exercise, but a strategic move to transform and position the Nigerian electricity industry for efficiency and reliability. With the unbundling of TCN, NISO will now be at the heart of our power sector, facilitating seamless coordination among generation, transmission, and distribution.
The committee is urged to serve with diligence, integrity, and a deep sense of responsibility.
Major reform in our quest to transform the power sector for operational efficiency and for effective service delivery of a functional, reliable, and affordable electricity supply to our households, to our businesses, to our institutions, and to our industries, all for economic growth and national developments.
Integrity, discipline, good oversight of the power industry, and by God's grace and the support and prayers of everyone, we hope to transform the Nigerian electricity supply industry.
We're expected to hit the grounds running in terms of the sector coordination, transparency in system operations, transparency in market administrations, and making sure that there is grid reliability and availability and also quality of power to the teeming populace of Nigeria.
The unbundling of TCN into both the Nigerian Independent System Operator and Transmission Service Provider became imperative, and that is what has been done. And it also, suffice to say that this actually went through a very transparent and competitive process.
A technical working group tasked with the responsibility of preparing Nigeria's second biennial transparency report and fourth national communication has begun its assignment. The two-day engagement is preparatory to the submission of the report to the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change in 2026. Charles Alpha reports.
Nigeria being a party to the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change and its Paris Agreement has the obligation to prepare and submit national reports of emission of greenhouse gases by sources and removal by sinks, mitigation actions, adaptation impacts, and support received or needed, which is in accordance with the decisions and guidelines of reporting under the convention. In order to meet this obligation, Nigeria has prepared and submitted to the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, UNFCCC, 3 national communications, 2 biennial update reports, and the recently submitted first biennial transparency report. This technical working group, cutting across MDAs, convened again to commence the preparation of the next cycles of reporting.
These reports are crucial for tracking progress towards climate goals, eventually supporting strong alignment with more effective data-driven climate action.
As we stand now, we just reported in the BTR1 what has been achieved to the 2030 time horizon, and it's going to be the same time horizon of 2030 for the BTR2.
This engagement is expected will clearly lay out the transparency reporting requirements as well as address identified gaps from the first report. Charles Alpha, NTA News.
And now for more details on the Nigeria's second biennial transparency report, we're joined via Zoom by Ann Umar from the National Council on Climate Change. Hello, Ann. Thanks for joining us. What are the key objectives and expected outcomes of Nigeria's second biennial transparency report and, of course, fourth national communication?
Thank you. Thank you for having me. My name is Ann Umar from the National Council on Climate Change. I'm part of the team responsible for preparing Nigeria's GHG emission reporting to the UNFCCC. So before I answer your question, I'd like us to just to get a brief understanding of what this is all about. Nigeria is a party to the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change and joined in August 1994. And one of the obligations for Nigeria and also part of other countries is to report on emission of greenhouse gases by sources and removal by sinks. What do I mean by that? This means the sources is to identify the sources where these emissions are coming from. And what are we doing as a nation, to mitigate this impact? This means by sinks where these GHG inventory gases, are being mitigated. So from sectors of the economy, Nigeria so far has submitted 3 national communications. What do I mean by national communication? It's just an instrument, it's a document, a national document submitted by parties to the UNFCCC. Every 4 years, national communication is submitted, and every 2 years, the biennial update report is submitted. So these documents we have submitted so far, and now we are in the process of beginning the biennial transparency report. So far, Nigeria has submitted its first biennial transparency report. Of course, this couldn't have been done without the help of stakeholders. So one of the achievements, it was a landmark achievement for Nigeria because Nigeria actually met the submission deadline for 31st December 2024. So Nigeria actually submitted on the 30th, just a day before the deadline. So this is a plus for us. And now we're about to begin the second phase of implementation, which is the biennial transparency 2, and also the fourth national communication. So we're having a back-to-back engagement with stakeholders for this to happen again for us as a country.
Okay, thank you, Anne. But we'd like to know, how will these reports contribute to the country's climate action commitments under the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change?
So apart from the fact that Nigeria is part of the parties, to submit this document, there are also some benefits and opportunities for Nigeria to key in. So there are so many available climate change-related funds to access in order to adapt and also tackle issues on climate change and climate change-related disasters in the area of adaptation and also the mitigation actions, having to transit to renewable energies and all that, just to have clean energy. And these are the benefits Nigeria has to gain, by accessing some of these funds that are available. Thank you.
Okay, with all of this going on, what will be the specific task or expectations of the technical working group from now to the time Nigeria is required to submit this report?
Okay, thank you for that question. Just like Nigeria actually was able to submit this document timely, we are hoping to also submit the second phase of this document by 2026. So all efforts is in place. We are having preparatory meetings. That's why we are having this back-to-back technical working group workshop going on currently in Abuja. And this workshop participation has been drawn from the national MDAs, ministries, departments, agencies at both national and subnational level. The intention is to build a capacity on what is all about, what this process is all about, and what Nigeria has to benefit in it, and also what is their roles, they need to play what do they have to do to make this happen once more again for Nigeria? So they have to go out, go back to their institutions and provide information and data for us needed to be able to key into the BTR national document for submission to the UNFCCC. So this is the reason why we're having this back-to-back climate change workshop, technical working group workshop going on currently. Thank you.
We do appreciate. We'll take a break now. When we return, more news. Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. The Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Festus Keyamo, is optimistic that Nigeria's aviation sector leads by example in adopting Nigeria green technologies and practices towards addressing climate change and environmental sustainability. This came to light when the minister received members of the House of Representatives Committee on Climate Change in his office. Aliu Kabir reports.
The aviation industry faces increased pressure to reduce greenhouse gas emissions to address the risk of climate-related disruptions such as flight cancellations and delays and improve passenger safety and satisfaction. To this regard, the Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Festus Keyamo, receives members of the House of Representatives Committee on Climate Change. The essence is to put all hands on deck to improve fuel efficiency and reduce emissions to mitigate its environmental impact.
Nigeria, as a member of the International Civil Aviation Organization, ICAO, is committed to playing its part in global efforts to combat climate change. We are aligned with the Paris Agreement and ICAO's carbon offsetting and reduction scheme for international aviation, which sets ambitious targets for the aviation sector to mitigate its environmental impact.
Nigerians understand this, and with the Climate Change Act 2021 as logo backing, serious efforts are being made by the country to not only address climate change, but to also leverage on the opportunities it presents to position the country on a path to sustainable growth and development.
The minister highlighted agencies under the ministry working round the clock through several initiatives in this regard, assuring the members that the ministry will work with the National Assembly members and other critical stakeholders to implement policies and actions to achieve more sustainable and responsible aviation sector in Nigeria. In Abuja, Aliu Kabir, NTA News.
The National Security Advisor, Malam Nuhu Ribadu, is appealing to Nigerians to abstain from paying off ransom to kidnappers on the grounds that it is counterproductive to security efforts. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa reports that he made the plea while receiving 60 rescued victims abducted from Abuja and Kaduna State.
He is 51 years old and among 59 victims kidnapped and rescued through a joint security and intelligence operations. Troops of the Nigerian Army 1 Division, in collaboration with security and intelligence agencies, conducted a rescue operation leading to 60 kidnapped victims regaining freedom. The victims consist of 35 males and 25 females.
Appreciate the effort of the security men for making it possible for us to be out of there.
If it's because of the federal government, still up to now, they are still in the bush.
The Office of the National Security Advisor has provided initial medical care and psychological support to the victims.
And we are saying enough is enough. We will not be able to stop this thing quickly if people continue to give them money. I want to make a very strong appeal to all. It's understandable. When someone of yours is in captivity, you will do whatever it takes for you to get him back. But this is counterproductive.
We were kidnapped from Lere, Zangon Kataf, and Kagarko local governments. On rescue, we have been able to give them some medical attention.
Office of the National Security Advisor have been very, very helpful in coordination, bringing the services together to work for a common cause, and that is why you see the result.
They will be handed over to the Nigerian Army's 1 Division for further rehabilitation. In Abuja, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
Still on security matters, Chief of Army Staff Lieutenant General Olufemi Oluyede wants troops of the Nigerian Army not to relent in discharging their constitutional responsibility of safeguarding the nation. This was while addressing troops at 3DIV headquarters, Jos. Ijoma Ozoemena has more.
Addressing troops at the 3 Division, Chief of Army Staff Lieutenant General Olufemi Oluyede emphasized the need for them to give their best to the nation while efforts will be intensified to address their welfare.
Let's go in by what the federal government is doing for us. It's for us to put in more effort in tackling all the challenges bedeviling the country. And to do this, we intend to strategize, motivate our soldiers better, provide the right enablers, and we expect that things will get better going forward.
As part of his engagements on the plateau, Lieutenant General Oluyede inaugurated 23 engineering regiments and a newly renovated and equipped Rhino multipurpose hall. Others are Block D116 and D113. Chief of Army Staff, who inspected the quarter guard, says welfare of staff cannot be compromised, hence the ongoing renovation in the barracks. He promised to liaise with education authorities on how to enhance the standard of education of their vets. He urges Nigerians to furnish them with useful information to aid in tackling insecurity across the country. In Jos, Ijoma Ozemena, NTA News.
Inspector General of Police Kayode Egbetokun is assuring Plateau State government of embarking on concrete security measures in tackling the security situation in Bokkos. This assurance was conveyed by the DIG Operations Kwazi Zigu Dali at a meeting with Governor Caleb Mutfwang at the Government House, Jos. Priscilla Gurumnan reports.
Following the recent attacks that claimed lives and destruction of property in Bokkos local government area, the DIG is in Plateau State on the directives of the IGP to assess the security situation. While condoling with the government and people of the state over the incident, DIG Kwazi says in addition to the special intervention troops deployed to the state, 2 armored carriers have also been added to ensure effective security operations to restore peace in the state.
I've confirmed right yesterday when I'm speaking with the CP that the unit of the police mobile force have arrived. The IG did not stop at that. He has as well directed in order to see that listed criminals did not go, but that justice also should be served to the people of Plateau State.
Governor Caleb Mutfwang expresses gratitude to the Inspector General of Police for the demonstration of love and concern for the people of the state.
We want to appreciate the deployments that have been made, and of course, all the assets that have been deployed to try to deal with this matter.
DIG Kwazi was at the Bongom's Palace where he offered words of condolences over the security breach, saying nothing will be left undone to forestall future occurrences of such ugly incidents. The Bongom, Da Jacob Gang Buba, decried the spate of unprovoked attacks on innocent citizens, re-emphasizing proactive measures for the protection of lives and property. In Jos, Priscilla Grumnan, NTA News.
Still talking security, and in a significant move to bolster internal security and enhance regional law enforcement collaboration, the Inspector General of Police and Chairman of the West African Chiefs of Police Committee, WAPCO, Kayode Egbetokun, received a delegation from Interpol, led by the Executive Director of Police Services, Mr. Cyril Gault, at the police headquarters in Abuja. The visit centered on deepening cooperation between the Nigeria Police Force and Interpol and formally marked the handover of the West African Police Information System, WAPIS. The Ministry of Police Affairs officially assumed control of the WAPIS program from Interpol on behalf of the Nigerian government. The system is now domiciled within the Nigeria Police Force. WAPIS is designed to strengthen regional policing by improving data collection, standardizing data management, and promoting efficient information sharing among law enforcement agencies across West Africa. IGP Egbetukun also acknowledged Interpol's vital role in advancing international cooperation in tackling global security threats. He expressed gratitude for their ongoing support and reaffirmed Nigeria's commitment to the full implementation of the War Peace Programme, both nationally and across the sub-region. We'll take a break now, and we'll be back with more news. Stay with us.